Hello everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to Lake of Voices. So actually, I was just about to go to bed and then I realized that I didn't record a video today. I'm like, oh shit! So I got up out of my bed just to record this. It's kind of past my bedtime, just a little bit, but you know what? Fuck it. I gotta do it what I gotta do. So anyways, we're just gonna jump right into it because we got the ending, right? Last time? Yeah. So this one, for this one, we're going to just, we're going to say nothing. We each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Say nothing. The guide approaches Bemele and me before I have time to sort out my thoughts.
You will stay.
What?
You would have already decided to come if you had the proper mindset for a journey such as this. You two will stay.
But you don't understand.
The guide raises a hand to me, ice cold. My words die in my throat. If he decides we aren't fit to cross, how can we persuade him otherwise?
This is bullshit!
Oh wow!
We are more than equipped to make this journey, and we know more of what it means to be in danger than most will know in all their life.
What's your fucking language, Bemele? This is a family fucking friendly channel! God!
You two will stay.
Okay. Bemele's muscles tense, and I put a hand on his arm. He trembles slightly beneath my fingers, his hands curling themselves into fists, but he doesn't say another word. The guide turns around and heads onto the bridge. Margaret uncomfortably looks from the guide to us.
Goodbye.
Then she steps onto the bridge after him. Bemele sighs, the anger releasing from him as they disappear into the fog.
Farewell.
Be safe. We reached Hammer safely, though it took much longer than we would have liked. Much of the village had been damaged or even destroyed. It was my fault for taking so long. I did all I could to aid them in defending their town and repairing what could be salvaged. Bemele was disheartened by how little assistance we were able to provide. However, he could not deny how fortunate we were to have both made it at all, especially after we caught wind of the report given by the guide to the elders for that night. Every village close enough to Sinlos gets informed on what occurs in that lake. He does so because communities wish to be made aware if they have lost one of their own. This time his news was the death of a young woman. The one we spoke to, Margaret, is gone. Well, shit. I have not heard nor seen the guide myself since then. I must assume he is still there on that foggy shore, waiting for desperate souls to seek out his light so they may cross the lake of true darkness. Although I regret that I was not able to do more to protect these people, no one admonishes me for it. They sure seem that I did everything possible. They seem sure that I did everything possible. I hope that is true, even if I cannot bring myself to believe it. Soon Bemele and I will return home, and we will once again take the long way around. My one piece in all of this, I got achievement unlocked, safe. My one piece in all of this is that Sinlos will be far behind me in a matter of days. I intend to keep it there. Lake of Voices. That was an interesting ending. Anyways, let's start a new game again. Yes. You're quite informed, Margaret.
It's been...
I believe we
And
should
I
go.
believe you.
Not seriously. We're gonna wait timer. It lunges at Bemele. It hits his legs, and he goes down, taking me with him. We slam against the bridge, our lantern's light blinking out as it hits the wood. We're engulfed in darkness and fog, and before I can do anything, a Nyx reaches out from the edge of the bridge and clings to Bemele. It pulls hard, separating the two of us. Bemele quickly slides near the edge as the Nyx retreats. Bemele struggles to loosen the monster's long fingers from him to no avail.
No!
Hell nah. I lunge forward, but my hands only slap the surface of the bridge. I try to crawl closer, yet I can't keep up with the rapid pace of the horror playing out in front of me. Margaret rushes over to me, bathing me in her lantern's light and scaring away another Nyx at the surface's edge. The Nyx with Bemele likewise dives fully back in the black waters, dragging him completely off the side.
Bemele!
Fuck. Oh no! That is so depressing. So depressing. Haha. I scrambled to the edge. Yeah. I scrambled to the edge and Bemele is there, flailing to keep above water. Oh no. Before I can even extend a hand towards him, he's violently yanked underneath.
Bemele!
The surface of the water grows still again in just a few seconds, as if the entire altercation didn't happen, as if Bemele hadn't just been taken, as if he'd never been here in the first place. I stare down at the void in disbelief, a clicking, cluttering sound, like the whining of cicadas, erupts around us. The Nixie are laughing. A hand grips my shoulder. The guide pulls Margaret and I back over to the center of the bridge, grabbing my lantern and holding it in front of my face.
Relight it. We're moving forward.
I stare at the lantern, unable to move.
What happened here? It didn't happen. Not until we reach the shore. Pretend he will be there on the other side. Whatever it takes. Get up.
Okay. I rise to my feet, barely conscious of what's happening. Margaret helps stabilize me. The guide holds out the lantern again, and this time I take it. My free hand slips into my pouch, pulling out a box of matches. I can speak. I get one out and hold it up in front of my face. I can't seem to figure out what to do next. Margaret gently takes the match from my hand, relighting my lantern for me. As the light bursts to life and shines across her face, I feel like crying. The guide nods and begins forward again. Stiffly I follow, the box of matches crumpling in my grip. Margaret, now sure that I'm as okay as I can be, catches up to the guide, but remains closer to me than she did before.
What happened to the other lantern?
It was taken after the light went out.
What conversation there was or could have been gets no further. It barely penetrates my mind. I can't skip that. Margaret hovers nearby, watching me with clear worry on her face. I want to say something, but want to reassure her, but I feel like if I'm barely even in my own body, nothing feels real. I can't accept Bemele being gone. I can't accept that he's gone for good, just like that. He can't just have disappeared. The guide's words float through my mind, and it's remarkably easy to believe what he said. Bemele will be waiting for me on the other side, or maybe he'll be in the tavern when I make it back home, clapping me on the back and commending me for a job well done. He'll be laughing and drinking as he usually does, starting a fuss with the other guards. He can't just be gone. It can't be that I won't see his face again. A dim, unusual noise penetrates the fog of my mind, and I realize Margaret is trying to talk to me. Her words sound far away, like she's speaking through a tunnel. She smiles nervously at me. I only look at her. The smile slides off of her face. Instead, she stays by my side, walking forward with me.
Huh?
Something is pulling on my arm. Warmth penetrates my cloth armor, and the feeling grounds me slightly in my body. Margaret is whispering to me, pulling me forward and pointing at the guide. My eyes follow her finger, and I realize the guide is getting further away.
He's moving faster.
And then I snap back to awareness. Oh, damn it! I thought she was gonna say snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, and then I snap back into awareness. Danger is still afoot. Evil is afoot. Danger is still afoot, and Margaret is still alive. Shame trickles down my neck. Shame for having lost my wits. I'm not supposed to be this way. I double my speed, feet pounding hard against wood. The sound and the rhythm soothe me, even enough to fully clear my mind.
Thank you for telling me, Margaret.
I say it quietly, so quietly I'm sure she can't hear. But as Margaret runs past me, getting into her original position, she pants in response.
You're welcome.
We go faster and faster until... Oh, yeah. Turn, motherfucker! Oh, sorry, start running again, leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind me. Is this a normal image of her dying? I don't remember, but whatever. I don't want to watch this. I know exactly what will happen to her now. The guy stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. Oh, Lou. Lou. There. Haven't we lost enough as it is? I clench my fist in exasperation, disturbance rising at the lack of concern he allows for the departed. It's as if their existence has already been wiped bare from his mind. The guide regards me piercingly. I have no intention of flinching in front of him, but there was no need to be concerned as he almost immediately turns his eyes on the newcomer. The man is standing now, though still hunched, with his arms wrapped around himself as if expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than at us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him?
Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here?
He glances up, not at me, but towards me, his eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
No.
Just no. He lifts his head, wide eyes looking up at me incredulously.
You need a lantern in order to ward off the Nixie. The light keeps them at bay. You may come with us. I offer you my protection.
The guide interjects curtly.
If he is to come, then you along with him will need to travel split off from myself. You may only walk near enough to see my lantern, not my form, and no closer. I did not agree to lead this man.
Raw wrath boils up within me. Why is he being so unreasonable? He should not care if this man comes along. He has never let the presence of another person impact his own safety regardless. I turn a choked gulp into a headstrong huff. I raise my eyes to glower directly into his. I know an opponent I cannot defeat when I duel with one, but that doesn't mean I can't make my disgust clear.
All right. We will stay behind.
I keep my voice level until the sharp bite at the end. The guide makes eye contact with the newcomer one final time before turning and advancing forward, leaving us in his dimming lantern light. As I watch him move forward, I continue to seethe. My thoughts drift to all of the events that have unfolded this dreaded night. Against my own wishes, I begin to feel torn between all the regrets and sympathies I have for Bemily and Margaret, and the acknowledgement that it is because such things happen that the guide is likely refusing to take any chances. I don't understand how I'm supposed to feel or what I am meant to do anymore. My head starts to reel, leaving me with the only option there has ever been, pushing the emotions to the corners of my mind. The mission is all that matters for now. I release another bated breath and just barely shake my head. Excuse me, what? You should go after him. Maybe if you actually said that to me, I would. I widened my eyes, startled.
What?
Yeah, what? Did you say something? Why aren't you talking? Why aren't you talking to me, boy? Boy! There's still time. You should go after him. Staying with me isn't worth it. I study him, momentarily speechless from the madness of his suggestion.
No. I'm not going to let you die out here. I'll do whatever it takes to ensure your safety.
At that, the bit of power he had seems to be whisked off his shoulders like a thin cape. He shrinks back into himself, silent once more. It is relief to have this matter fully settled. I'd be damned if I let him stroll off into a certain early end.
We should start walking. That should be enough of a head start for him.
Dot dot dot.
What are you doing out here without the guide?
Yeah, what are you doing out here without the guide? Perhaps the question isn't appropriate to ask. After all, only the darkest of circumstances spurs someone to cross Sinlos. Yeah. You're important as well, say nothing. I refocus on the boards ahead of us, not allowing the comment to make me second-guess myself.
Honestly, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
The two simple words caused the uncertainty to fall from his face and the growing tension to dissipate. He, too, watches the guide's lantern floating ahead. Okay, now we can just skip. We keep our pace racing across the bridges, but there's no sign of the guide anywhere. I begin to fear that we may never be able to catch up with him. I know how quickly he moves, and Lou keeps nearly falling as we make our way past the flames. I tighten my grip on him and push those thoughts out of my mind. I just need to keep moving forward. We will make it out of here. I flip back to Lou, to face Lou, my expression unaffected. I'm not going to allow panic to sap us of judgment.
Let's look for another bridge.
I resolutely begin retracing our path. He follows without protest. Before either of us can think further, a noise catches my attention. I hastily address Lou.
Did you hear that?
We should go right, I think. To where the sound came from.
Beside me, Lou is still fast asleep. I notice Lou begin to stir. Lou props himself up into a sitting position. He doesn't move to rise any further. My mouth opens and shuts. Yep, no reaction.
We should eat something soon.
Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm not hungry.
Lou's back is turned to me. He still hasn't gotten up out of the dirt.
You won't make it very far if you don't have something to eat.
Lou buries his head deeper into his knees as he curls into a tighter ball.
No thanks.
I don't know what to do. There's a lull of silence between us. A distinct rustling of the leaves around catches my attention. The guide appears, emerging from the thicket. Lou doesn't seem to notice as he's still facing away.
The Nixie will not tread on land in daylight. However, being near the shoreline is still dangerous. If you leave the center of the island, remain cautious. Before the sun sets, I will be in this area. It would be wise to meet me here before nightfall.
My foot's falling asleep. This is not fun anymore. I motionlessly watch the guide. He considers his piece here finished. The guide turns around and returns to the forested area from which he came. Lou meekly calls to me. I turn around to face him, though I don't speak. He's standing some distance away. He fidgets and glances over to the side before returning his gaze to my eyes. He gestures for me to come closer. He begins to whisper at me, but he fumbles with his words, and I can't make out anything he says. I look at him inquisitively. Finally, he speaks up enough to be clear.
I'm sorry for what happened last night.
He speaks quickly as he looks up at me, eyes filled with sorrow. He shifts his focus downwards.
You would have been better off without me.
Do you mean when I had to stay behind?
Yes, you got caught up in the fire and it was a disaster.
It's all right. Nothing happened in the end. Besides, it isn't your fault that things turned out this way.
It was closer to being my fault than anyone else's. I wasn't supposed to be here, and all I did was get in the way. The guide was right about me. I knew from the beginning that it would be like this too.
Well, stop beating yourself up, boy.
I never should have stayed.
Finishing his thought, he sniffles as he turns away. Suddenly I feel a strong surge of emotions rip through me. Everything is falling apart and I do not have the power to change this. Quietly I speak. I need to be alone. I'm going to speak with the guide. I ball my hands into fists, steel my will, and start advancing in the direction the guide went. I push my way through the branches and reach the other shore of the island. I look for the guide, but he is nowhere in sight. How? Where could he have gone? I search the area further without success. The island is not in any way large. If I have not found him, it can only be because he does not wish to be found. I sigh as all motivation leaves me. I think I simply need to be alone. It seems... Achievement unlocked, alone. It seems as though my wish to be alone will be granted. There's no sign that they will be returning. A cold chill somehow whips its way back down my back, despite the calm of the air. I keep my gaze on the dark ground, taking a deep breath so it stings the back of my throat. As I slowly empty my lungs, I try to empty my mind of all thoughts. I do not know what I'm doing anymore. Nothing is straightforward. I find something familiar and powerful in my thoughts and latch on. The mission. I have to try and focus on the mission. I need to be strong. My eyes start back up. Is someone watching? I wonder if I'm afraid of being seen struggling like this, or if I hope I may not be on my own here. It doesn't matter. There's still nothing but the silent island. Time seems so indefinite around me, passing slowly. On this island, it almost seems to move slow, as a stagnant pond. I shake my head, burying the thought. It's irrational, but I cannot bear to think of even old pond water. Gradually, my consciousness begins to include the world again. I do a few standard warm-up stretches, testing my mind and body. I don't know how long it's been, but I feel I have regained enough of my wits to continue on. I need to make sure everything is alright. I head through the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but I managed to pick my way through the bush quite well. Through a thinner stand of trees, I briefly catch sight of the guide standing on one of the beaches. He seems fine, but even though I'm sure he turned his head toward me, he makes no show of acknowledging me. I continue my check without heeding that. I find that I've been pacing back and forth for quite some time. I finished my check a while ago, so now I have nothing left to do but aimlessly wander. I'm tired. I think that's gonna be it for this episode. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Lake of Voices and would like to see more of this game, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. Share with your friends. I farted with my mouth. Share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye-bye.